Who on this floor is more interested in making money? We have a lot of philanthropists here. Who is interested, whose primary objective to do business is to make money among all these people here? Okay, finally we have a couple of brave souls. It's just that people are shy to accept that they want to make money, even though they do want to. So thank you guys for being honest. These days in mobile industry, Facebook, Twitter, everyone is talking about mobile app installs, few $1 billion of ad spend, people saying search revenue will die, it's all social media app installs. Fine, great. But for a normal developer, what does that mean? For you, where do you want to make money? So at the moment, for the whole mobile app ecosystem, this is clustered into few specific big players. Unlike web, where anyone could make an app, make a website, full democracy, in App Store world, the three main categories where everyone is up there, you have to fit somewhere, and then these guys will make money. 30% of the revenues of whatever you sell goes to these guys, but you still need to make money, and you need to market your product, advertise. As an app developer, what do you do? Even if you can afford the so-called expensive app install ads, what can you do in addition to increase your probability of making money? You fight organic. To fight organic battles, you need to define your framework, define a strategy on how you will fight organically. If you see in these, a lot of these ecosystem players have their personal preferred apps, their featured category, so there is natural search. Google just announced that they will be launching ads inside Google Play as well. So even when people search, just like search in App Store also, there would be ads. So an app developer who wants to grow big, he has to fight on the natural discovery mechanics as well. Let's see how you can fight those trends and still make money without being held hostage by a social network for being dependent on app install ads. I'm nothing against those social networks, it's just that I love democracy and I love to have a fragmented ecosystem where people can innovate and think beyond specific SKUs. So from where I see is the three main pieces on how you want to make money and how you can actually go about making money. Searchability, discoverability, and virality. Search is still the most important organ on how people get to access your apps. So I'll show you some data points from industry leaders which will show the impact of what can actually search do. You don't need to have $100,000 billboards or a TV commercial to promote your apps. They can help, but more than that is how do people search. Head of search and discovery, Google Play. One data point. AdMob, which is one of the similar networks in this domain. If you see for the browsing through an Android market, you have 65% Android. iPhone is not too far, 59. You're looking at more than 50% of the users discovering the apps by search. So I'm not fudging up, making up these numbers. There are industry standard guys. There are more of the brand names you will know who will endorse this strategy that search is very, very important. Just like 10 years back, SEO was everything, ASO is everything now. App Store optimization. And of course, there are different battles you fight on different app stores, but people need to focus on that. Content is important, but how you deliver the content. Searching for a specific type of app. Word of mouth. So the so-called viral factor, social media factor is still the third. Seeing ads while using other apps. That's where all the money is going. Fourth. News articles, fifth. So that gives you a flavor of where the industry is moving, and we can follow the trend of what the big PR releases from big media houses say, or we can see what's the real market research data say. Nielsen, I'm sure everyone knows this name at least. Right, I'm sure you guys know this. App Store search, friend and family, was north of 50%. iTunes is 17. App discovery, so there are these best app of the day, the portfolios which give you recommendations, 20%. It's skewed towards that. We'll go in deep on how you can actually ace that. So now that's where users are, that's how users are behaving, how do you actually use it and work towards that? Forrester, percentage of apps each channel. App Store search 63, friends and family 50. So now that there is enough data from the industry that searchability actually works, how do you actually do it? Now I'll probably go deep dive in some of these things. Please stop me at any point of time. Just raise your hand if you have a question. Our friends will bring a mic to you so that we can take that question there itself. In-store optimization and off-store. So inside the store, how do you do it? The three main. So the examples I'm taking are primarily Android-based. Most of it is applicable on iTunes as well, except for specific pieces which comes to Google properties. Most of it is applicable to iTunes as well. I'll tell you when it's different for iTunes. I'm focusing primarily on iTunes and Google Play, which contributes major distribution channels. Keyword optimization, context and localization. Google allows you to, when your app store is open, and your app comes, the language and the visuals can be changed for a country. Simplest example, let's say you have a sports news app. When a person in Malaysia opens, the screenshot does not need to be in Malay only. It needs to be updated regularly for what is happening in Malaysian football that week. And you can actually optimize it, daily or weekly, whichever, how aggressive you are. A person needs to see that when someone comes to my shop, your app store page is your shop. That's the impression. You have just less than 3 seconds to close the deal. You're in or out. And at that time, the screenshots, the video, all of that matters. So searchability is one, and once people come there, you need to close the deal. Always be closing, ABC of sales. It still works on App Store. Let's say keywords. So I'm just taking an example of one of our portfolio applications. The title and image, it reflects on the current campaign. Right now, Cricket World Cup is going. So what you do in Australia and New Zealand, it has to be related to that. What you do in Vietnam has to be related to that. You change it for whatever countries you are rendering, whatever languages you are rendering. Description and detailed keywords. So ratings, reviews, description. So all these, the different aspects of the stuff of your App Store landing page. And Google keeps on changing this. So this is the latest one. They changed it 3 months back. They will keep on changing. I'll show you in the next slide how they actually changed it to include Google Plus as a part of the thing. What most app developers and publishing houses do not realize, that this is where 50%, 60% traffic is going to come. If you don't optimize this, how people reach there and how people come back, you lost half the battle. Your Facebook app installs can throw people to the App Store. They cannot close it for you. The closure happens here. You have to close it on this screen. That's all you have. Review management. Whatever keywords you put in reviews, when people search for those, that's where you get it. So you have to focus on, you don't need to line it up with all the keywords. You don't need to, but you need to put that message. So whatever you're going to do in next 15 days or a month, whatever you put here is there for posterity. You need to be very cautious on what you're doing. Immediate prompt, because see, time is very precious. Someone has to be really happy or really pissed off to go and write something for you there. How many times you go and, okay, let me take a survey here. How many of you go and write reviews for the apps which you love? Anyone in this part of the hall, have you written a good review for an app on the App Store? This part, have any of you written a good review for an app on the App Store? Has any of you written a bad review for an app on an App Store? Okay, sir, I want to learn what made you write that bad review. Could we have a mic? Okay, and did you uninstall immediately, or did you write it and wait for them to respond? Exactly. See, that's the real customer of today. They will not forgive you. If the person is pissed off, they'll diss at you and they'll get out. At that point, you need to address it. There are ways in Google Plus to reach out to those customers. I don't have his email ID, but if he criticizes my app, I can still reach out to him, have an email sent to him. There are workarounds to send that email and say, sorry, we apologize. Here's what we did based on your feedback. We welcome you to come back. That's the real CRM, customer relationship management up in public. This reviews is the best way you can win advocates. So that company, did that company reach out to you, sir? So they lost an opportunity. If they would have followed up with him, reached out to him, he could have been their advocate. Right now, he doesn't care about them. So people are losing that opportunity and focusing on ads. Good, ads are there. You need to do this. Because a person who downloaded your app and spent time to write, that means he really wanted to use it. And something happened, unfortunate. Maybe it was a technical failure. Your comments, I mean, the description, as he said, they said something, they didn't do that. You need to fix that, because you will piss off more customers. You can buy audiences, you can buy ads, but you're going to piss even more customers, and Google's going to punish you. The more uninstall rate you have, the lower you go down in search and rankings. Okay, here's a key difference, how social media comes into the App Store. If you see the difference, if a friend of mine has installed the same app, I will see the fourth column. The fourth column would be the name of that app, name of that person, +1. But if none of my friends have installed that app, what I see is similar. So now, Google is actually encouraging you to explore other apps of similar nature. And there is no way for you to kick that away. All you need is to penetrate more and more social circles so that people see a friend of yours, which increases likelihood of that person installing. But the bigger thing is you want to kick that similar out. And kicking that out on tablet is even tougher. On phones, you need one friend, depending on how big is the screen size of the phone. Tablets is even more. So if you're looking at a tablet product and you're not doing this, you are actually giving up the audience which comes to you after the search, after the word of mouth. They come to you, and you're giving them on a platter to your competitors. Because people love to check out. All of us have done window shopping. People love to check out. They'll check out. The moment they go to another person's shop front, probability of they coming back, very, very little. That's finer nuances most people do not think on. Yes, we can yell whatever we want against Google+. Yes, we can do it, but it's their economy, their ecosystem. If you want to live in that, you got to operate that way. Screenshots. I mentioned a bit on that. It needs to move very, very fast. It's not something every time you release a new version of app, you don't change the screenshot. It doesn't work that way. It has to change as fast as you change your WhatsApp or your WeChat display pic. How frequently do you guys change your display pic on Facebook and all these chat messengers? Sir, when was the last time you changed your display pic? Exactly. Thank you. Do you have a mobile app? When was the last time you changed the screenshots and all these things? And what was the previous time you did it? So you're changing it every day? I'm happy. I would love it if you were changing it every day. Sorry. Okay, good. We have someone who is actually getting it. But most people are not changing it. So you care more about your Facebook display pic, your WeChat display pic, but you're not caring about your product, which is probably your livelihood or close to your livelihood. You got to change it much faster than you change your status messages and your display pics. It's as important as that. Most people okay, App Store is different. It is not. It's very similar. It's a social network where people come to check you out, and if they like, install is equal to friend request or follow. It's exactly. You need to be always looking tip-top, always be desirable. If you do not, you get out of the party. This is the other part of the searchability. Once you fixed the stuff in store, how does the traffic comes to the store? So Google uses the similar algorithm what you used to use for the web in terms of what are the backlinks, what are the inbound queries coming. And of course, you try buying the links from link farms, you get punished. What are the natural links pointing to you? So sitting in a dark room making an app, that's not enough. What people are talking about you, how many people are sharing your app in their blogs, in their news, in their social networks. That's key importance. I'll come to Google+. So yes, Google may split it into 3 pieces, maybe. But the streams, that's called the stream product, will still remain, the profile and what articles you share. They might hive off photos and hangouts. That will still live. Google Plus is the glue which sticks all Google products together. You're logged into your Google Play with your Gmail ID. The fact that you have a Gmail ID, you get a Google Plus by default. So it will stay. So as an app publisher, no matter how much you hate, that stays. And Google respects that because all those plus ones you saw, those plus ones come from there. Any traffic, any reference there has more respect than it would have on a competitor website. So this is how a typical page would look like for an app. So you have to create a page if you want to do anything, and a YouTube channel is automatically created if you put a video. What matters here is how many views and how many followers. This is a very old image. We have much more now. So this is very important because these many people are following. How actively you are doing your community management on this. Yes, do your Facebook community management, do your Twitter community management. I'm not saying shut it down, but ensure you don't shut this down. You shut this down, it has impacts because other people are not gonna shut it down. They're gonna go double. So it's simple. This is a blue ocean. There's less competition. It's much easier to fight this as compared to Facebook. Facebook people can buy stuff. There are no in-stream ads for Google+. There are some on the side, but not in-stream. This is still more organic. I'm not saying devote as much attention as Facebook, but don't ignore it either. You can do a lot of things. There are circles like Facebook likes, so you can add people to your circle, the brands which are more associated with you, so that when Google sees you, sees, okay, it's an active profile. It's not a dumb person or dumb robot doing something. It sees engagement. Maybe you are sharing the same content as Facebook, whatever product you're using, Hootsuite, Buffer, or something. The incremental cost of doing this is very limited as compared to the ROI. So one-time setup and then basic maintenance. So it stays active. Google sees it is active. That's what they need. That's what they want it to be active so that it does not become a ghost town. That's the rule of the game. You play by the rules of the game. YouTube. Everyone knows how big that is, but especially if you have a video streaming product, it's very important. Anything which is there, all the keywords, in every description of a video, you can add call to action to reach out to your app. All those backlinks count. Any backlink which is coming from a Google property is more respected. You change this as frequently, because if you are running any campaigns, any marketing, any social media, whatever video assets you have, you keep them. In case you don't have video assets, it's fine. There would be some video content relevant to everything. YouTube has such a huge audience, such a big collection. Make playlists, share those playlists, follow the relevant channels so that it is active. Stay engaged with the community, because everything what you do, the juice flows back. The mothership loves, when you love the kids, the mothership loves it. Again, that's like all the images needs to be refreshed very frequently. The text, the same typical search engine tactics work, but you need to track them as well. So if some of you are interested in how to track, you can actually track installs from there. The attribution models can be built. So is your YouTube channel actually giving you installs as well, in addition to whatever benefits in the search rankings? Last one. on this one, backlinks and deep links. Deep links is a very, very interesting animal right now. If you search for food place Singapore on Google, on a phone, or let's say food place and you name a specific place, the search result, if you click, it can actually take you inside a specific page of an app. You need to allow Google to search inside your app, unless you are doing like a banking application or something, it's a different matter. But if it's a consumer-grade application, allow Google to search inside it. You can modify the manifest file of your Android file. Google reads inside it, and if there is a relevant search result, it will send people inside the app. And you measure these. This way, you're part of the ecosystem. You do not prompt people to go multiple places. And if the person does not have that app on the phone, the person is sent to the app store. If the app is there, it opens with that specific page inside the app. The more links inside your app are indexed, the higher is the probability of you going up in the search results. And these are organic search results. These are not App Store search results. App Store, only the app comes. Just google.com, these deep links will help. Backlinks are if you have people who are writing about you, just be proactive to tell them what links to use instead of, so usually what you have is a landing website as well as a Google Play URL and a download now button on your landing website. Just communicate proactively that the traffic goes to your app store directly. The more links are pointing inwards to the app store, the more value that your app store link becomes, the more valuable that becomes. And it keeps on going. So the more high value inward pointers you have, it's similar. All those guys who have done SEO before, they won't find much difference. Oops. Yep, sorry. So searchability was the first pillar. Now we come to the discoverability. Option 1, featured. You can get lucky. So Google has a simple rule. They have an estimated growth rate for every app. If your growth rate exceeds that, and they do not find anything unnatural with that, you get featured. Of course, there are some partnerships, there are some region or occasion specific. Let's say if it's Hari Raya specific apps will get featured in a specific category. But this is more on, you keep on working hard. If you do not have too much spikes, it's a natural progression. App stores will never disclose that algorithm, but that's a key channel for discoverability. The big publishers can get it easily. Smaller publishers need to find their niche and be persistent, and then you can get it. Do not try to contact anyone at Google. You're not going to get it. Unless you are a very, very big person who can call up the VPs. Calling up Google employees, your friends at Google does not give you this. Even calling up the VPs most likely cannot give you this. They have an algorithm which no one knows. The second piece is natural. Natural is what we talked about. How you ace the natural discoverability is, there are tools which you can use to track the natural traffic. You can track how many people in Philippines searched for what keyword, and when my app was listed, what rank it was. For which keywords my app was there in top 10, in top 20, top 30. Look at those. So there used to be Alexa, ComScore, I mean, they're still there. For web, there are tools for mobile as well. Embrace those tools. There's App Annie, which does some things. There is similar web. There are tools which can actually help you analyze this traffic and tweak the strategy daily, weekly, by country. You need to track this traffic very, very closely. Referred apps. So there is a section below, which are the referred apps. How do you get there? How much traffic are you getting from there? Which apps are you giving the traffic? There must be some referred apps below your app. Who are you giving? Do you want to call up that person and say, let's do a partnership? Because I see I'm giving you a lot of traffic, and you giving me a lot of traffic, let's do a partnership. Let's do cross-promotion. So those kind of things come from naturally monitoring all this traffic. So we can go down. If some of you want to look at the tools, we can go down. It's an appendix for me. The last one is the paid. You can buy the discovery. You can buy CPC, CPM, CPI, CPV. That's too much marketing jargon. You can buy the audience, but you can buy your way up to the top, but you cannot stay up to the top by buying. You can buy it. I'm not saying you should not, There are scenarios where you need to have a critical mass to sustain. It may be required, but you cannot perpetually survive by buying. So it's simple. What's the cost of a user? How much money are you going to make? If you're buying users by just serving ads, you cannot make money. It's a proven model. If you're buying downloads, you have to sell something, whether it's in-app goods, subscription, or something. Before you go ahead and start to buy, do a customer life cycle value management system. See how much dollars is going to cost, how much months it is going to take you to get the money out if you're looking at a free product. And if it's in-app, just look at your existing paying users. Before jumping on the bandwagon, just do that numbers. It will help you figure out whether you need to join the party or stay at the shores and go the natural way till you reach a mass. The last one is virality. So what kind of incentives you can give to the user? So not many people are fan of it. Some people are. The growth hacking and all those key buzzwords. You can do that, but you need to carefully do that. You don't want to be banned by the app stores. Apple has strong policies against that. If you ask people to do something for specific things inside the app, they ban you. So it has to be done in a much more cleaner way. There are companies which are dedicatedly offering growth hacking services. Some of them have been invested in by Microsoft as well. So there are those models. What additional value are you giving? Does by sharing that to people, you give them a digital good, you give them a service, you give them an experience. What are you going to give them? So before, sorry, you have a question? So before you embrace any of those, invite 10 Facebook friends of yours and get this free. That's too last generation. Think more creative. There are better ways. Dropbox did one a couple of years back in Singapore, which was space hack. The more students join from a school, everyone in the schools get 25 GB storage. Can you do it at a crowd level? Do you have a specific cohort in your users which you can motivate to achieve a collective goal? Can it be an event-based goal? Can it be a social goal that if you guys do this, we contribute this to a charity or contribute this to a social goal? Do that instead of just focusing on do this Facebook share, do this Dropbox share, and Twitter share, and we give you this. The second one is socialized virality. You're maintaining all your social pages. What you need to ensure is how are you measuring it? I mean, social is like this high school party. No one knows how to do it right, but everyone wants to be there. You need to be there, but do measure your efforts. For a lot of product, it does not make sense to do it. They're making a Facebook page for the heck of it. Maybe forums are the right thing for you. Maybe a blog is the right thing for you. Just ensure you're using right attribution tools to measure what you are getting back from those tools. Anything which is not measured is waste of effort. Just throw it in the dustbin if you do not measure it. Most people today are not measuring it properly. They're just looking at the number of likes and followers they have. That doesn't work. Last is, do you have exclusivity? Can you bring out experiences for people which they can enjoy, which they can cherish? So exclusive membership passes, exclusive distribution partnerships. That's the last thing you can get for virality, special user groups, and they get to access that functionality. So that's the three main pillars, I would say: searchability, discoverability, and virality. I'm open to questions now. So
no questions? I loved it. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay.